Hi guys, welcome to another video. So I'm Charlie and this is Famo's Pokemon TCG. And recently I went to the Singapore's Ultrabolic Season 3, which is this tournament here. Maybe I want to bring it up. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me try and bring it up. Okay, so under gym events, I think it's Asia Championship Series League Point events, and they have Master Ball League, Ultra Ball League. Yeah, so I participated in the Ultra Ball League Season 3. Yeah, maybe I may make myself a little bit smaller so you guys can see it. Okay, so Ultra Ball League Season 3, and I participated in the one which was held over this past weekend. So as of recording, this is Monday. I participated yesterday on Sunday, and there was one on Saturday as well. I couldn't go for the Saturday one because I was working, but I went for the one at Sunday. It was at Fernview Community Club. Nope. Yeah, not this. So it was held at Fernview Community Club, which is something like a community center at Fernview means it's in Sengkang. So yeah, there's that. It was at level 4, the multi-purpose hall, and it was quite a big venue, quite a big venue. It was about 300 plus players actually turned up, and today's video is more about sort of like something like a walkthrough or a guide from my experience as a newbie, because I'm only into this Pokemon TCG for the past 4 months. I started in January, now it's only April, so I've been playing for 4 months. It's my first Ultra Ball League for the Pokemon TCG, and we'll go through a review like what the events, how it went and stuff like that. So let me just switch to this view. Okay, so I have some clips that I've taken. I haven't taken like extensive videos of the event because as I was playing, I was kind of like not sure what the rules are on photography and video taking. I wasn't sure that I was allowed to take videos like openly, so I just took some like secretly, like very few short snippets of it, and I made a YouTube short. So if you can check my shorts section on my channel here, you will see that I uploaded a YouTube short on YouTube as well as on our TikTok channel. And basically I only took some short clips for that. So this is not the registration. Let me try and see whether we can. No, how do I get to next on this? Yeah, so let me just go through the start. Okay, so these are the entry. So this is the during registration. So the opening hours, like you will see, this is the timetable or schedule that I've written down, my record of what happened during this time. So the event, if you see it on the website, maybe I can bring that up as well. You can see this is the event that's listed on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Trainers website. That's for Asia. It's from 10 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. So it takes a full day for a full like 8-round tournament. And at 10 a.m. when I reached there, actually I reached there pretty early. I reached there like 9:30. 9:30. So they were still setting up and all that. The judges were already there, but it wasn't official time for them to start work yet. So at 10 a.m. people started to queue. This is for the elected players. So let me just play the clip again. So the elected players will start to queue up to register, and you will see there's a Switch 2 booth for kind of like to promote Nintendo's Switch 2, because this is an official like Pokemon League Point event, and it's actually hosted by Maxsoft, which is the distributor for Nintendo games as well as Nintendo Pokemon TCG. So anything Nintendo is actually distributed by Maxsoft in Singapore. You can consider Maxsoft like a subsidiary of Nintendo, for example. Yep. So that is so people queue up to register. I think elected players have there's about 100 plus of them. So it didn't start immediately at 10. I think the actual registration started at around 10 plus, maybe 10:15. I'm not super sure. So you will scan your trainer ID. You will show them that you are elected and so on. Then you register. You pay your $25 and you get to take a seat inside. For walk-in players, I don't know whether there is uh, yeah. So let me go through here. Okay. So for walk-in players, right? Obviously this will differ for each venue because the Ultra Ball League that's held this coming weekend will be at a different location. So for walk-in players, we actually walk in kind of like at a site, and doesn't matter whether you're early or late. They don't come. They don't serve first come first serve. First, they don't do it first come first serve. They do it by lottery basis. So for walk-in players, we sort of like uh yeah. So for walk-in players, you sort of like go into the side room, then you take a queue number, something like a queue number or something, and then basically that is your not really queue number, it's your lottery number. So when they roll for the lottery, if you get your number gets chosen, that means you get to play. If your number doesn't get chosen, so unfortunately you are most likely unable to play unless the people before you who were chosen, they decided to not register and there's remaining spaces, then you will be the ones that get to play, for so on and so forth. So in the um in the space, the walk-in space was a bit to the left of the hall there. Then that's where we get our numbers. So for walk-in players, we you don't do deck registration the night before. If you're an elected player, yes, you had to submit your deck list the night before the tournament. So walk-in players didn't. One of my friends actually got an error whereby he was elected, but when submitting his deck, he submitted his deck list early, but somehow the system didn't capture his deck list. So since the system didn't capture his deck list, it was they considered a failure to submit, and he would have an auto round one loss. So unless he decided to do a walk-in, which he did, so he withdrew from the elected players list, because since you have a round one loss anyway, he didn't want that. Then he elected for walk-in, and unfortunately, when he did the walk-in, he couldn't get in as well. So that was unfortunate on his part. Anyway, what was I on? Yeah, so that was the process, and the process took quite a fair bit. So let's look at the so there's a schedule here, right? So at 10 a.m. elected players queue for registration. They also do walk-in to get our lottery or registration numbers. It takes about like 10:30 to like finish all the registration for just the elected players alone, because take note that there's about more than 100 players in the elected players list. And then from 11 to 12, that's where they do the lucky draw for the walk-in players. So the walk-in players, I think we had about 130-ish walk-in players. So about 120 of us were eligible to play. So it was basically only about 10 players who were not selected from those 130, which was pretty unlucky if you consider it, because it's like less than 10%. It's probably like an 8% chance that you will not get to play. And actually, two of my friends, two of my people that I've played with, were among the 8, which was like super unlucky. So if that situation ever happens to you, I think if you don't get selected to play, probably go home, go buy some Pokemon packs and go rip a pack, because maybe your luck will turn when you rip a super like an art rare from like a Pokemon pack or something, because you gotta be really really unlucky to be not able to get in. So anyway, back to the schedule. So 11 to 12, they have the lucky draw. So most of us are drawn. So like 100 out of 130 of us, 120 of us are drawn. Then we also have to queue up again, and then the judges will check if our numbers are in the list. So we are, then we get to register. So registration is not free. You do have to pay a registration fee of 25 Singapore dollars, because this is the Singapore version of the Ultra Ball League. Obviously, there are Ultra Ball Leagues at rest of Southeast Asia as well. Then $25 to register, and we get an entry gift. So once you register, you actually get the entry gift of 2 perfect order booster packs, and you do eventually get a promo card as well, but that is later. Yep. So entry gift of that. Then yeah, so from 12 noon, so while you are doing the registration, right, that is actually the downtime. It's probably close to like 12 noon, where you can actually go and get your lunch. Because remember, we reached there at like 10 a.m. in order to get our lottery numbers and for the elected players to register, but we haven't had, there's no lunch break in the tournament. So it was I was smart enough, so to say, to ask another more experienced friend of mine who has played the UBL like on Saturday, like when's the lunchtime? Then he says, yeah, right before the tournament starts, you will have some dead time in between where you can go and sneak away to get lunch. And that was like around 12 noon for me. After I finished paying my $25, I sat down and I was like, there's nothing happening. People are just waiting. So maybe leave my bag here and just sneak away downstairs, because luckily for Fernville Community Club, which was the tournament was at level 4, the level 3 area was the food center. So I snuck away to like from 12 noon, I snuck down to level 3, had a very quick lunch. Like I think I only took like 5 minutes to finish my lunch. I bought something that was ready prepared, like economic bihun, for example. I bought economic bihun, which was like already cooked. So yeah, so I had a very quick lunch. So I took me like 5 to 10 minutes for my lunch, and then I went back up. Fortunately, the round 1 hasn't started yet. Yep. So take note that there's no lunch breaks after the event has started. So round 1 starts, I think, about 12:30-ish. Each round is technically 25 minutes. It technically seems like a lot, right? 25 minutes for a round. If you're not used to playing all these tournaments, yeah, 25 minutes seems like a lot. But actually, it is absolutely possible to run out of time, because in competitive tournaments where neither player wants to lose because something's at stake, league points, qualification for Master Ball League, qualification for Worlds and stuff like that. It's not just money and prizes. So yeah, basically, yeah, something's at stake. When things are at stake, people really try hard. So when they try hard, they think a lot, they spend a lot of time in between turns, or the game drags on to many turns, which happened for one of my match. I almost ran out of time until I asked my opponent, which was my fellow friend as well, like bro, do you have boss's orders? If you don't have boss's orders, I have it. I'm gonna win next round. To force him to concede. That was right before time ran out. So if not, both of us would have got a double game loss, because when time runs out, when time is caught at 25 minutes, and neither player has fully collected all 6 prize cards, even if both, like one side has 6 prize cards and the other player has 1, both players will get a double game loss, as that is the rules of the tournament. The judges will come in, they will say that the match is not ended, so both of you guys will be, it's not disqualified, but both of you guys will get a double game loss. So try your best to play quickly, briskly. Don't take too much time in between the rounds. It's technically 25 minutes is not a lot of time. Most matches will end within 25 minutes. Most matches will end probably around 15 to 20 minutes, but it is definitely possible to run out of time. Okay, check. Yep. So okay, so now this is a technical part. So at the beginning of when you registered for the Ultra Ball League, right, you'll be asked to scan a website. So this is something like this. So this is my position. I ranked 141 out of technically 162, but I mean, in reality, about 300 players actually sign up, but most people drop out halfway. I'll talk about that later. So you will be directed to this website. So this website is where you submit your results and where you see your rankings and your round listing. So if you look at the round list here, we had like 8 rounds, and there's the one I click is the final rank. So like for round 1, I was against this particular opponent. So you will see my table. I was seated at table 1, 3, 4, and then this was my opponent. This is my trainer ID number. So how you submit results is actually pretty straightforward. You play your opponent, win or lose, technically the winner of that round is the one who is responsible for submitting the results. How you submit the results? Pretty simple. On your smartphone, obviously nobody's bringing a laptop there to a Pokemon tournament. So on your smartphone, when you have this website loaded, you just need to tap on this particular link, your table number and your name. If you click on it, current final can register results. Okay, so there's this pop up. So technically, let me try on maybe, I think round 8 or something. If you click on the name, yeah, then you will see this pop up. So this pops up, you will have win, lose. So my opponent registers his win and I have lost. So this registration is super duper important because if, let me bring up this list, right? The failure to register the result will a failure to register a win or loss after the match will result in both players not being paired for the next round. So the reason for this is very simple. If there's no result submitted, right, the system is that means the computer system or the website will assume that both players did not turn up for the match, because since it's so common for players to drop out mid-match, right, they just walk away after they think that they have no chance. Maybe after round 1, round 2, they have 2 game losses after 2 rounds. They'll be like, nah, I'm going home. I don't want to waste my time here. I want to go for my lunch, go for some other like gym battle and so on. Spend some time with my family and friends. So yeah, so if the result was not submitted, the website, the judges don't know that a game has been played, so they assume that both players did not turn up, so they have disqualified both players out of the tournament. So we can actually approach I mean, if this ever happens to you, you and your opponent can approach the judges again to ask them to repair both players for the following rounds. But take note that the round that you are not paired for, you will get a double game loss. They call it DGL, double game loss. Yeah, basically double game loss for both players, because both players are not paired. So the only way the system will understand it, okay, you guys did not play this round, you guys lost this round. So even if you request to enter a tournament paired, yeah. So this in particular happened to me personally. I think it was my round 6. Let me return round list. So I think it was my round 6. Yeah, so you see, round 7, I had no pairing. So I did not get paired for round 7. So at round 6, I was paired against my opponent, and my opponent beat me very handily. I was playing a Garchomp deck, and he was playing a grass deck, a grass like Tilma Sogopon deck. So he started to knock out all my basics and all my stage 1s. I couldn't get Garchomp in time, then I lose. So quick match ends, we chatted a bit, and somehow he forgot to register his result, and I didn't know that I had to ensure that the match winner has to key in the result. I thought it was like, yeah, he's gonna do it, no big deal, I'm gonna go play the next round for fun. Turns out, yeah, so round 7, both of us were not paired. Then it turns out that he forgot to submit the result. Both of us lose round 7. I wasn't that badly affected, but he was affected way more than me, because at a point of time, I remember at round 6, yeah, I was at 9 points, and he was also at 9 points. My opponent was at 9 points. So you get 3 points for a win. So this means that both of us were at 3 wins and 3 losses. And wait, there was round 6, right? No, 3 wins and 2 losses. 3 wins and 2 losses. Because at round 6, we've only played 5 times. Because the 6th time, round 6 is where we played our 6th game. So we played 5 times, and both of us at starting of round 6, after our 5 games, we were at 3 wins. So we were at 3-2. So he beat me, so he was at 4-2. And since he forgot to register, he became 4-3 instead of... No, he forgot to register his win, so he did not get... Did he? No, he still got the win, because we did talk to the judges. So the win was still registered under his name. So he would have been 4-2 if he had remembered to register the results going into round 7, which would have... he would still have a good chance of being top cut. But at 4-3, there was no way he was going to be in top cut, because since we get double game loss for round 7, since both of us did not play, yeah, he didn't get a yeah, so there was no chance he was going to get top cut. So I think he was telling me he was going to drop out of the tournament because of that mistake, which was really, really silly. It's like you paid $25, you came, you played your heart out, you got 4 wins, hard-earned wins, and you forget to register your result, and because of that, you have no chance of getting top cut and league points. That's like, I think he still probably got league points because at 4 wins he probably will get league points, but it's you can see it's such a waste. So yeah. Anyway, so that's my rant there. For yeah, so I totally didn't blame him because he is losing so much more than I for forgetting to register the match results. Yeah. Then coming back to this, so after each, we're only at round 1. So coming back to this, right? After each match ends, obviously do register your results in the website, and you have to exit the playing hall. The judges will clear the players who have finished the match out of the playing hall, so they ensure that everybody leaves and there's like nothing left over, like no cards, no water bottles, stuff like that. Please take all your stuff with you when you leave the playing hall, and then they will pair for the next round. So same thing, once the next round pairs, you will get something like this. So you just check your next round, you click next round, you will get your pairing and so on. Then you click next round, yeah, then you will get your pairing. If the next round has not been, if the system has not paired for next round yet, when you click the next round, this link, there will be an error. It says that next round has not started yet, so on and so forth. So yeah, so you will see your pairing, you will see your table number and where to sit and so on and so forth. So pretty straightforward. From then we continue playing the rounds from round 2, round 4. Round 4 is when they give out the promotional card. So let me just tap on this. No, this. Okay. So at round 4, they give out this promotional card. So this is the Dawn with the Ultra Ball League stamped on it. So it's a unique card. So this is only given out for players of the Ultra Ball League, and I think players who ended like top 8 will get another card with the Ultra Ball League. I forgot. I don't know what card it is, but I've heard from my other friends that yeah. So if you end up at top 8, top card, basically you will get a prize. Your prize is another UBL stamped, Ultra Ball League stamped playing card. I cannot remember what card it is, but definitely that will be even more rare than this. So all these stamped cards, Ultra Ball League stamped and so on, or Master Ball League stamped, if you are a collector, it will be wise to collect them. You can also buy them off other players if they are willing to sell. Yeah, because they do, you can tell that these are like limited edition cards. So since it's limited edition, over time they will go up in price, as to all limited edition stuff such as Pokemon cards. So round 4 is where they give it a promotional card, and then in round 8 is where they give a promotional sticker. I don't have it, it's out in my living room, but basically it's not a big deal. It's just like, yeah, like a small thank you for staying all the way until round 8, which is technically the tournament ends at round 8. So in this case, in the tournament, in the Ultra Ball League yesterday, the tournament ended at round 8 because at round 8 there was a player who won 8-0, and all the rest of his opponents did not get 8-0. So the winner was decided by 8 rounds, so the tournament ends. If technically there was no winner decided by 8 rounds, I think we could have played around 9, but yeah, that would have dragged even more time. Okay, so let's take a look at the results again. Is it this button? Okay, let me bring it back. Maybe bring up the result screen. So let's go at round list and final rank. So we already see my rank, 141. Let's look at top cut, page 1. So Subauri actually won with 24 points. That means because every game win is 3 points, so basically he won 8-0. So Subauri is the only guy who won 8-0. And then the rest of the players below him, that means from the rest until rank number 11, were 7-1. So that is top cut. I think top cut is until top 8. I don't know how they determine this scores. I honestly don't know. Yeah, how they determine like 1-7-0, 1-7-1 guy is above the other, no idea. probably you might have to ask a judge at one of these local events, like how do they determine who, if like 10 players end up 7-1, how do they determine who gets into top 8? No idea. Okay, so that is that. Then the rest of these are like 6-2 and so on and so forth. Then let's talk about the meta. So from what my experience as I played, obviously everyone's experience with who their opponent's decks will be very different because there are like 300 players. I mean, I had friends who brought in like Megastarmie decks. I think he probably might be one of the rare few ones that brought Megastarmie. I had friends who played Tumas Ogapon decks, which is within the meta list. The most prevalent one is obviously Dragon Poke. Within my 8 matches, I think I met 3 Dragon Poke players. 2 of which I beat. One which I narrowly beat, and one I got trashed by. So against 3 Dragon Poke matches, I won 2, lost 1. I played against Raging Bolt. So Raging Bolt was a pretty dominant like deck, like pretty not that's it. I don't know whether the top cut players were playing Raging Bolt, but it seems to be quite prominent because I talked to a few of my friends who were in between the rounds. They said, "Oh, I face a few Raging Bolts as well." So Raging Bolt was pretty how should I say, a significant share of the meta for yesterday. Ultra Ball League. Then Mega Lucario was very prevalent. As I walked around the room, I saw a lot of players playing fighting decks, and then I see, oh, it's a Lucario, so it's a fighting deck. Personally, I was also playing a fighting deck, but I was playing Cynthia's Garchomp, way lower in the meta list because I only saw another player like right beside my table. Yeah, I think in round 3 or 4 that he was also playing Cynthia's Garchomp. Other than that, I think I was only the 2 of us were probably the only Cynthia Garchomp players. So we were very low on the meta share. Team Rocket Mewtwo and Team Rocket Honchkrow were very high on the meta share. Like a lot of players were playing Team Rocket deck. Mewtwo, one of my friends who was mainly a Team Rocket Mewtwo deck player, he actually when I talked to him like after round 4, he was 4-0. So he was playing at the top tables every for the first 4 rounds. I didn't know how his results were after round 5. I didn't get to meet him, but he probably did well. So maybe he finished top cut, maybe not. I'm not too sure. But Team Rocket Mewtwo decks and Team Rocket Mewtwo decks in particular were doing well. The Honchkrow decks, I don't know how well they perform, but the Mewtwo decks were really good because you can see that they were facing a lot of Dragon Poke and Mega Lucario, which was the huge majority of the meta of the player pool, and Team Rocket is favored into both of these matchups because they run Lily's Clefairy in their Team Rocket Mewtwo decks, which gives them a favored matchup against Dragon Poke because they just bench the Lily's Clefairy, which provides all psychic Pokemon a strength against Dragon type. That means the Dragon type will be weak against Psychic once Lily's Clefairy is benched, and they don't use Lily Clefairy to attack. You use Team Rocket Mimikyu, which is a psychic Pokemon. Maybe I can bring up the card. Maybe makes it easier. So on Limitless. Okay. So let's bring out Limitless. So let's say Team Rocket Mimikyu. Yep. So Team Rocket Mimikyu, right? Basically, it's you use the only attack it has, which is Gemstone Mimicry. So you choose one of your opponent's active Terra Pokemon's attacks and use it as this particular attack. So obviously Dragon Poke is a Terra Pokemon, and Dragon Poke has the Phantom Dive, right, which everybody knows, 200 damage to the active and then 60 spread out to the bench. So basically, once you bench your Lily's Clefairy, you attach Team Rocket Energy, which provides Psychic and Dark Energy. Basically provides 2 energy to a Team Rocket Pokemon, and you move it into the active, you copy Phantom Dive, and you hit the opponent Dragon Poke for 400 damage because due to Lily's Clefairy, which let me bring it up. Lily's, yeah, Clefairy EX. Let me bring. So due to Lily's Clefairy EX's ability, which is Fairy Zone, weakness of each of your opponent's dragon Pokemon in play is now Psychic. So the Team Rocket Mimikyu, his the 200 damage that he deals will now become 400 to the opponent's Dragon Poke, which knocks out them one hit KO because they only have 320 health. And you also get to spread 60 damage to their bench, which if their bench has any like Derpies or even Dracloaks, Dracloak. Oh yeah, Dracloak. Okay. Yeah, so even if they have a Dracloak, you can deal 60 damage to it, only make them like 30 health remaining and so on. So if it's a Derpy, I think you can, do you knock out a Derpy? The Derpy? Dreepy? How do you spell? Dreepy? Dreepy, okay. Yeah, so Dreepy, well, you almost kill a Dreepy. It's 70 health. So you make it down to like 10 health remaining. So yeah, anyways, it's pretty good. So summary is, yeah, Team Rocket Mewtwo with Lily's Clefairy in there, good against Dragon Ball. And why is it good against Mega Lucario? Because Mega Lucario is weak to Psychic. So Mega Lucario EX. So you can see Mega Lucario EX, yes, 340 health, yeah, but weak to Psychic. So you can literally, same, you just take, well, Team Rocket Mimikyu cannot copy this Mega Lucario's attack because it is not a Terra Pokemon, but you can use Team Rocket's Mewtwo because it is a Psychic Pokemon. Team Rocket Mewtwo. Yep. So Team Rocket Mewtwo is a Psychic Pokemon. You can use Erasure Ball, which does 160, but you can discard like more energy from the bench to do more. So even at 160, if you multiply by 2, it is like 320. So if we go back, this is 340, right? So you will need to discard another energy from the bench in order to one-hit KO a Mega Lucario EX, which is a pretty big deal because it is a 3-prize Pokemon because it's Mega Evolution Pokemon. So yeah, so you just bench, you don't even need to bench Lily's Clefairy, just use Team Rocket Mewtwo and you have an energy in the bench from your Spidops and you can one-hit KO knockout Mega Lucario EX. So Team Rocket decks are pretty favored into this. Honchkrow decks probably not favored because they do the same amount of damage. They don't have weakness or resistance due to Team Rocket's Honchkrow's attack, which you do damage by discarding supporters. So I don't know whether they are successful, but I did see at least one player playing Honchkrow. Then the next meta share of it is grass decks. There were, as I went through the tournament halls, I saw a lot of players playing grass decks. Personally, one of my friends were playing a Tilma Sogopon box deck, and yeah, another guy I know, he means grass decks all the time. He's definitely playing like a Arboliver, EX deck, Tilma Sogopon box deck. And I myself, I faced my round 6 opponent was playing a Tilma Sogopon box deck with, I think, Venusaur. Probably, I'm not too sure. So Venusaur decks, Mega Meganium decks, Tilma Sogopon decks, Arboliver EX decks were very common. And the reason why I think they're so common is because people were expecting Zoroark to be meta. So if you remember, like the EUICs and all that, right before the rotation of the G regulation, a lot of players started to try out Zoroark EX because because of what was the card that made it really good? So Zoroark EX and Zoroark EX. Well, let's look at decks. I think it's this one, and Zoroark, and there's this and Zekrom. Yeah, because of the release of Zekrom in the Standard Heroes, and Zoroark got a big power spike because they can now do 250 damage using Night Joker, and that made it like a pretty meta deck. A lot of players were trying out Zoroark in tournaments. So because of that, a lot of players, they had the answer, which is grass, because Zoroark has grass weakness. And yeah, so and it only has 280 health. So technically, if you take a Tilma Sogopon, all you need to do is 140 damage, and you can one hit KO. And it's not that difficult to do 140 damage with a Tilma Sogopon, because you do 30 extra damage for every attached energy. To attack with a Tilma Sogopon, you need like 3 grass energy. Yeah, Tilmas Sogopon EX. Okay, so let's bring it up. Yeah, so to attack with Myriad Leaf Shower, you need to attach 3 grass energy, right? And with Teal Dance, it's pretty easy to get the 3 grass energy. So with this, you are actually doing 120 damage, because it's 30 plus 90, so 120. So technically, if you slap another like grass energy onto it, so that's 4 grass energy, you will do up to 150 damage. And 150 damage multiplied by 2 is 300. So with 4 grass energy, you would one hit KO N0 EX. So pretty easy. And if you are playing like a Mega Meganium hits for big damage. Obviously, it's gonna one hit KO. Even if you're playing like Venusaur, it does 240 damage, grass damage, and it's gonna one hit KO N0 EX. So there was actually a big absence of dark decks. Like I don't see any players playing N0 EX at all. As I walked through the hall, maybe I didn't see every single player there, but none of the players I met played it. I only played against one Epso box, which was pretty. It was pretty like it was not obvious as well. Like I don't see a lot of people playing Epso box. Just that one player that I met. So I don't see any players playing Zoroark EX. Then the other meta share was Psychic box decks, like Jellicent Clefairy, like kind of weird box, because people were bringing it to hard counter the meta, which was Dragonpoke and Mega Lucario. So like Jellicent to item lock Dragonpoke players, item lock Mega Lucario players, so you can't use Fighting Gongs. And then they use Lily Clefairies to like one hit KO their Mega Lucarios and the opponent's Dragonpokes and so on. Yeah, so Psychic box decks were there because one of my friends played Dragonpoke. He faced against a Psychic box deck and he can't do anything. Only thing he could do was lose the match. Alakazam, actually pretty small share of Alakazam, because some of the friends I talked to yesterday, they said yeah, they were expecting more Alakazam players, but they didn't face any. Like, they didn't face any Alakazam players. Personally, I didn't face any Alakazam players. I was ready with my Rocky energy and all that. So I think Alakazam, like some content creators predicted, it is kind of like a fake meta bump. There were a lot of Alakazam. Alakazam was popular because it won, I think, the Champions League at which tournament? Osaka, yeah. So the player Tatsuki Akagi, he won the Champions League Osaka with Alakazam, the dance pass, and people started picking it up. People started trying out at locals and all that, and all of a sudden, yeah, I think they are losing. They're not winning because there's a presence of Mist Energy. So players started to tech for Alakazam by running Mist Energy in their deck. There, like I mentioned, a huge share of players were playing Team Rocket Mewtwo. So people were running 2 Team Rocket Articuno in the Team Rocket Mewtwo decks, which means once you play Team Rocket Articuno, Team Rockets cards. Team Rockets Articuno. So what does Team Rocket's Articuno do is has ability Repelling Veil, prevents all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon. Basically basic. That means your Spidops technically is not a basic Team Rocket Pokemon, so they still can be targeted. But basically you can't target your Team Rocket Articuno because it's a basic. You cannot target the Team Rocket Mewtwo because it is a basic as well. And then if you have your unevolved Spidops, I think the Tarantula, what is the Team Rocket? How do you pronounce it? Team Rocket's Tarantula. So if you have your Team Rocket's Tarantula unevolved, Alakazam cannot target as well because Alakazam's attack is basically an effect of attack. Yeah, so yeah, you prevent all effects of attack. Yeah, so Alakazam's attack is an effect of attack. So basically, yeah, once they meet a Team Rocket deck, it is almost an auto loss, almost an auto lose. So I don't see Team Rocket players losing that matchup against Alakazam. And since so many players are playing Team Rocket's Mewtwo, yeah, Alakazam players felt like, nah, I'm not gonna bring Alakazam here. So then the rest is like I mentioned. Me, myself, and another player were playing Cynthia's Garchomp, which was pretty low on the meta share. And then I saw one kid playing Ceruledge. Yeah, he was like sitting beside me. I was like, oh, Ceruledge, because I myself I almost brought Ceruledge EX to the tournament, and I made a last minute change the night before the tournament on Saturday night to change to Cynthia's Garchomp, because I just wasn't getting good results with Ceruledge EX in my local gym battles, in online like PTCGL live. I wasn't doing that well there, and I participated in an online like PTCGL tournament, online tournament, and with Ceruledge EX, and I also didn't do well there. I only got like one win with it, and the one win was a fluke because my opponent was a grass deck, and he only has one grass Pokemon at turn 2. I managed to get Ceruledge on turn 2, and I just donked him. So yeah, it was a free accident, and I actually even at my Ceruledge EX during the online tournament, I lost to 2 grass decks in round 1 and round 2, mainly because I bricked. So I couldn't get my board set up. They got set up earlier than me, and I just bricked, so I just lost. So I just didn't like bringing Ceruledge EX to a tournament where you only get best of 1 Swiss rounds. Yeah, because bricking is just too high of a risk. Yep, so that's that for my experience as a new player for Singapore's Ultra Ball League Season 3. So if you're watching this video because you are playing in next week's Ultra Ball League, hope to see you there on Sunday. I forgot the venue. So next week's Ultra Ball League is at... Here, let me check. What's the venue? Yeah, at Aloft Singapore Novena, 16 Outwood Road, level 2 Balestier Ballroom. So somewhere in Novena, I guess, central area. And same thing, you gotta like check in at like 10 and so on. So if looking at the schedule here helps you out, then thank you very much. Please give the channel a subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.